Welcome to the Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the quickest Formula One updates. We have 3 exciting stories for you. To remain ahead of the competition, subscribe and click the notification bell. Let's begin. Red Bull Racing is at a turning point. Verstappen's endurance is put to the limit due to mechanical difficulties. Red Bull Racing, which was once Formula One's most dominant operation, is now embroiled in technical issues and internal uncertainty. With their 3-time world champion growing increasingly frustrated due to a championship hangover, the team is fighting to address fundamental issues with their 2025 challenger while trying to retain their star driver Max Verstappen. The atmosphere at Red Bull Racing has reached a critical point. Red Bull's current situation is the result of a troubling performance trajectory that started late in the successful 2024 season, whereas Verstappen won the Drivers' Championship last year by dominating the early going. As competitors closed the gap, the team's development pace noticeably decreased. These red flags have become actual issues this season, with the RB20 displaying temperamental issues and lacking the MCL38's outright speed. Verstappen's private and public annoyances highlight the vehicle's main flaws. Aerodynamic performance varies from circuit to circuit, unpredictable handling traits that vary from session to session and cause McLaren and Ferrari to noticeably lose straight-line speed. The Dutch driver's unhappiness, known as the Verstappen factor, has emerged as the team's top priority, according to Red Bull sources. Verstappen has voiced severe concerns about the team's technical orientation, even going so far as to imply that other constructors might be more qualified for success in the future. It is said that development errors are the cause of this distrust. The team's failure to adequately address the core issues with the RB20 despite months of strategic study. There are still reservations about whether Red Bull's current technical team can restore their competitive edge and innovation edge, as well as worries that competitors have created a long-lasting performance advantage. Mode of damage control. These concerns were the focus of Red Bull's recent high-stakes conference. The meeting's facilitator, who included senior engineers and team management from Verstappen, had 2 important functions. Engineers who presented the technological roadmap laid out specific improvement plans with performance goals for the end of April, midway through May. The Emilia-Romagna GP comprehensive package addressed the car's main balance difficulties, while Barcelona/Saudi Arabia's early aerodynamic modifications focused on rear stability. The choice to promote Yuki Tsunoda above Lawson is part of the stabilization strategy, as driver assurance management highlights their dedication to giving Verstappen a championship-capable vehicle by the start of the European season. Though some wonder if any driver could make up for the car's inherent limitations. Team sources say Tsunoda's experience and constant input might assist hasten development. The path ahead, although paddock watchers point out that Verstappen's.com mood may reflect resigned acceptance more than renewed optimism that the upcoming races will prove pivotal. His momentary satisfaction after the meeting gives Red Bull a critical opening to fulfill on their promises. Upgrades from Barcelona to Saudi Arabia must show measurable improvement. Red Bull's development direction must be validated by the Emilia-Romagna package. Verstappen will decide whether to activate exit clauses based on his mid-season performance, a turning point as the European season draws near. Red Bull's technical department is under more pressure than ever before because their star drivers' patience is wearing thin. Do you think Red Bull can turn their season around and persuade Verstappen to stay, or has the Dutchman already had his mind checked out? Share your thoughts below. Red Bull is at a franchise-defining moment. Their ability to turn the RB20 from a troublesome machine into a consistent winner will not only shape this season's championship but could also determine whether they retain the services of the sport's most valuable driver. The flexi-wing dispute at McLaren. How the 2025 season is being disrupted by new FIA testing. The continuous discussion about flexible aerodynamic components has returned to the forefront of Formula One, with McLaren at the center of an expanding technical dispute. This latest chapter in F1's ongoing flexi-wing saga begins last season, when Red Bull first voiced concerns about competitors allegedly gaining unfair advantages through movable aerodynamic surfaces. The FIA initially addressed these complaints through private discussions with teams. Recent investigations reveal the walking base team was among several outfits forced to modify their rear wing designs following stricter FIA flexibility tests introduced at the Chinese Grand Prix. By introducing strict new load tests that drastically lowered the allowable deviation from earlier tolerances to only 0.5 millimeters, the regulating body has now taken more decisive action. A delicate engineering balance is at the heart of the issue around the technical tightrope. According to reports, some teams, including McLaren and Ferrari, created rear wings that deliberately bend at high speeds, producing a miniature doctor's effect. This design concept had 2 advantages. According to the race's technical analysis, these innovations pushed the limits of Article 3.9 of F1's technical regulations, which requires that aerodynamic components remain rigidly secured and immobile relative to the car. This allowed for higher top speeds on straightaways while maintaining the necessary downforce in corners. The new tests would have significantly failed McLaren's initial rear wing design. In order to go ahead of China, the team was compelled to quickly modify their rear wing assembly, adding stiffer materials and reinforced mounting locations. The modifications had a quantifiable performance cost. Shanghai telemetry data revealed that McLaren's advantage in straight-line speed had decreased from previous races, which explains why their usually dominant car faced more formidable competition. The crackdown on regulations. According to FAA Technical Director Nicholas Tombazeus, 4 to 5 teams needed to make adjustments in order to pass the revised tests. Red Bull's long-standing accusations are validated by this revelation, which also begs the question of why earlier testing was unable to detect these designs. All tolerance margins have now been removed by the governing body, which also warns that teams without replacement parts risk instant disqualification for any non-compliant parts found at Suzuka. Andrea Stella, the principal of the McLaren team, insists that they are innocent and that their first designs were entirely lawful according to earlier interpretations. We have not altered our core idea, according to paddock insiders. The team's China revisions went beyond simple compliance adjustments and represented a more comprehensive rethink of their rear wing concept. Stella asserted that we had only adjusted to the FIA's new testing technique. The broader ramifications: the grid performance has been rebounding as a result of this technical clampdown. Because of their decreased straight-line speed, McLaren is now closer to the pursuing group, which might increase the costs of developing the title battle. Several teams have been compelled to reallocate resources in order to redesign components that comply with regulations. Regulatory credibility in the middle of the season as the circus prepares to travel to Suzuka. The FIA is under fire for failing to detect these ideas sooner due to their obvious disregard for the spirit of the law. With their updated package, everyone will be watching to see if McLaren can reclaim their early season dominance. The final test of whether their modified rear wing can give the required stability without compromising too much straight-line performance will be conducted on Japan's renowned circuit's high-speed sweeps. Do you think the FIA's more stringent requirements are a fair way to enforce the rules, or do they hinder technical innovation? Should teams be permitted to take advantage of any ambiguities in the rules, or does this compromise the fairness of sports? Comment below with your thoughts. A scandal is sparked by Red Bull's driver Cop Verstappen's mounting annoyance. The Formula One paddock was rocked by Red Bull Racing's decision to substitute Yuki Tsunoda for Liam Lawson after just 2 races, revealing more serious conflicts inside the championship-winning squad. Although the sudden driver swap was meant to improve performance, it has instead brought attention to the widening gulf between Red Bull's management and its top driver, Max Verstappen. Many in the sport have questioned the decision as premature, claiming that Lawson should have had more time to adjust to the demands of driving for a top team. The Milton Keynes-based team justified the transfer by pointing to Tsunoda's expertise and consistent performances at Racing Bulls. The New Zealander was demoted after only 2 Grand Prix weekends, during which he was hampered by a car problem. Strengthens Red Bull's standing as a company that takes a brutal approach to driver development. Behind the scenes, Verstappen's quiet dissatisfaction. Red Bull advisor claims that 3-time world champion Verstappen has voiced serious dissatisfaction with the team's direction. The helmet, instead of holding drivers accountable for poor performance. Marco Verstappen thinks the team should concentrate on improving their troublesome RB20. Marco acknowledged that Max is not happy, but we need competitive cars to help Max defend his title as well as for the